Hi, I'm Enda Murray, the director of the Irish Film Festival. I'm delighted to be joined tonight by John Connors, the director of the very moving documentary Endless Sunshine on a Cloudy Day. You're very welcome, John. First, congratulations on a wonderful film. I was interested to know how you came to the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jade McCann was a friend of mine, and she was kind of a mental health blogger online, and I admired some of the stuff she was doing. And basically, I found out that she'd been diagnosed with cancer, and I knew from previous conversations that her dream was to be a documentary maker. That was essentially what she wanted to do with her life. That was the big dream. So I was telling my friend and producer, Tiernan Williams, who's also a psychotherapist, and he said, why don't we just start following her with a camera and make a little documentary on it? We thought we were going to make it a short documentary maybe. But lo and behold, here we are a few years later. We ended up following her, let's just say, a long, long way.
And how has the film been received in Ireland?
Oh, brilliant! I mean, we won the audience award at DIFF Dublin International Film Festival, and every film that has won that in the last 3 years has either won or got nominated for an Oscar. So we're in good company, and online responses has been just overwhelming. And we're right now just actually in, or we just finished there in Raindance Film Festival, which is one of the biggest film festivals in the world. So the response to the film and reaction has been really unbelievable, and we couldn't have predicted it.
Um, what do you think helped you to empathise with Jade and Anthony on the journey that they were going through?
Well, to be honest with you, you'd have to be a psychopath not to be able to empathize with such a journey and the struggles they were going through. So what that wasn't the hardest thing. Um, the hardest thing was over empathizing, because then you're having to do the job as a director and make certain decisions to serve the story rather than to serve the people who were in the documentary. But this also coincided with the death and the cancer battle of my grandfather. So ironically enough, this helped me kind of prepare myself for my grandfather, um, because they were going side by side.
And what about the shift away from drama and cardboard gangsters? The shift to documentary from drama. Did you find that difficult, or was that an easy move?
Well, I started presenting documentaries back in 2015, just at the same time as Carver Gangsters, just before that came out, and co-directed a series, presented a few others, and I love documentary. I mean, if you're someone who has um, a kind of a social heart, in that you believe that you have a bit of a responsibility for your community, and I mean your collective community. I think you'll kind of gravitate towards documentaries, because at least you're dealing with an issue, or you're dealing with some people that represent some problem or something in the system, and you can directly target it, as opposed to drama, which is all fictionalized. And so, yeah, no, it wasn't a hard adjustment. I love documentaries. I would watch more documentaries than I would watch dramas. Like, a lot of that's down to just the fact that there's not a lot of great films being made anymore, or at least the style in which I like them. So yeah, no problem at all. I love it, and looking forward to doing more.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got involved in acting? Just a bit of your early story.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't come from a background in which you would dream to be an actor. To say you want to be an actor, where I'm coming from, being a traveller in Darndale and Coolock, I mean, that's like saying you wanted to be an astronaut, or it's even more whimsical than that. I can't even describe it. But when I was 20 years of age, I had quit boxing, which was my dream to be a professional boxer. And I got myself messed up in some bad stuff. and I ended up in a very bad depression, and I was suicidal. When my brother Joe um, entered and said that he said that I need to find something in my life, something new, because boxing hadn't worked out and that. And he was worried that I was going to kill myself. And we got an acting class over the phone. I got an acting class, and I just showed up to the acting class in the Abbey Street of drama music, and I fell in love with acting, and it was like a portal into a different world. Just this world of creativity, you know. And ever since, I've been obsessed with it. Now, it hasn't. What it did, and the power of it was that it stopped those suicidal tendencies in that moment. It didn't cure depression or anything like that, but it's a tool to battle it, you know. So I just found that the power of art and creativity could save lives, because it did it with me. So here I am 10 years later.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the speech you made when you picked up that award, and you mentioned creativity. I thought you really put your finger on it. The power of creativity and actually, you know, how it lifts your spirit. That was a very impactful speech that you made that day. I was really impressed with it. You know,
If you look at how we got here this far, the human race, a big part of that has been creativity and creative thinking, you know. The friend of mine who is the psychotherapist also runs a course, and it's centered around creativity, physical exercise, and then mental health workshops and stuff. So I think it's, no matter who you are, where you are, I think you need to incorporate something creative in your life, because I think it'll keep that little demon satisfied.
I was interested in the film. You used the social media followers, kind of that was part of the narrative. And I was looking at one of the reviews, said it emphasized the collision between the online world and the harsh reality. Do you want to tell us what caused you to make that decision to include those figures as you were going along?
Yeah. Well, myself and Tiernan, who is the producer, the psychotherapist, but also the editor, and he was also the DOP. We spent a lot of hours. I can't even think of how many in the edit, trying to figure out something, like figure out what was the bigger message of the whole thing, rather than the documentary just end up being a eulogy to someone who died. And the one thing that was bugging us all along was her interactions and relationship with her followers. And they'd say the most horrible things to her. And it was because they were behind their phone or behind the keyboard, and they felt there was no consequence. You know, the world has changed so much just in the last decade. You know, 10, 15 years ago, you had a problem with somebody, you'd say it to their face. Now you just slate them on, you know, Instagram or Twitter, or try to ruin their career, or try to cancel them, or, you know, so all this stuff was going on. And the reality is that when Jade talked about her cancer, she got more followers and better activity. And when she talked about anything else or tried to act normal, she lost followers. So it was there hitting us in the face the whole time. That was the message. That was the societal sort of overarching political message. And obviously, you know, there's the personal one. There's the one about grief and family and overcoming and going together and fighting all the odds. But I always like to have something that has a societal meaning. So that became the societal meaning, and we showed it simply with some just graphics.
Tell us about the trip to Australia. What last year? What was the things that struck you about Australia that you remember now from, you know, looking back?
The Irish over there are mad bastards. I'd say that's fair to say. I went over there, and I went over there on the Thursday. I was in Melbourne, which was great crack. And then the Saturday was the worst gig I'd say I ever done in my life, at the Bondi Beach Club. Because I think a lot of people showed up to it Irish on a Saturday night. Listen, we're all there. We all go out on a Saturday night, get oiled up. But I think a lot of them thought they were seeing some different kind of show or whatever. But in reality, it's a one-man show. And if you know theatre and you know theatre etiquette, you know that you don't even whisper during a show. But we had to put the show back an hour and a half to 9:30 because the Irish wouldn't leave the bar. Now, of course, that was the owner of the club's fault. They wanted to make money, but the reality is I have to get up on stage at 9:30 to a crowd of 250 people, 200 plus of them mouldy drunk. It wasn't the greatest experience for an actor, but it was. But the culture of Australia and the place, the locations, bit of a culture shock and nice. I liked it, so I'd say I'll be back over there one day again, but I won't be. I won't be over and back so quick. I was over and back in 6 days, which I'd never do again because the jet lag was excruciating.
Yes, and you were lined up to visit Australia and come to the festival back in March. We were getting flights for you just when the COVID hit, so you were going to be the visitor, yeah?
I would have loved that. Absolutely, I would have loved that to see a bit more and to not have the pressure of performing. Because when you're performing in a place, that is always kind of it's always in your head. You know, you can't relax. So I would have loved that, and I would have had more time as well. But hopefully, I get over there. I get over there eventually one day. I'd love to go. I'd love to go to the Northern Territories. I'd love to meet some Aborigine people. I'm fascinated with their history and our history and our intertwined history with them. I watched that film recently, Nightingale. Have you seen that?
Absolutely. That's a tough one.
What a film. Wow. The actress, the young Irish actress, Aisling.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I forget her name. It's an Italian second name. I believe she's
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And the Aboriginal young fella. Oh my God, there was a scene with the two of them on the beach at the end of the film, and I was like, it was one of the most powerful scenes I've ever seen in a film ever. That film really hit home with me, that film. And it shows the kind of the deep ties we have with Australia, good and bad. So I'd definitely love to go back over there again and explore a lot of that, you know?
Absolutely. So, tell us about what you're doing at the moment. The Ireland's Call was your first one-man show. Are you writing some stuff at the moment?
Yeah. So like, I'm writing another one-man show actually, and it's about a traveller busker who has a mental illness. He's schizophrenic and he's on the streets of Dublin at Christmas, and he starts singing songs, and through the songs we see the history of Ireland, you know, going right back to old Gaelic Ireland and right back up to present times and through his family history, and you learn more about him and about Ireland. So that's one of them. And then I'm writing a feature film which I've received development for, two of them. Three of them all together with me company, but two of them I'll be writing from Screen Ireland. So one of them is another traveller story, because I haven't got to make a traveller film yet, me, only acted in one. So, and all our stories have been told by settled people. So I'm going to have to start telling the traveller stories now and do it the right way and the accurate way. So I've loads of writing deadlines to keep me busy under this mad time we're in.
And what's up next? Like the next project that you reckon you'll be involved in?
I'd say, well, there's a project that has a kind of a no title at the moment, but it's kind of a long and short of it, kind of a gangster film about two brothers, and it's set in Dublin, and Maverick Sabre, the singer, is in it. Maverick Sabre, he's going to be my brother. We're going to play brothers in it, and we're going in to shoot. That should be March. That'll be an exciting one for one of the kind of audience friendly ones that the Irish audience especially will love.
Fantastic. Well, The film festival is online this year in Australia, so you'll be your film will be seen the length and breadth of this vast country. Thanks very much for taking the time.
No, thank you very much for having me, man.
All the best, John. Take it easy.
All the best.